I'm Rob Auahand. This video series is talking about the tools of critical thinking. Critical thinking is not just one thing, it's a set of different ways of thinking about a topic that can help us to use our best judgment and find the most reliable information, or to create more reliable presentations or writing of our own. In the last video we talked about the way that critical thinking is not just one thing, and we talked about what quality thinking looks like. In this video we're going to look at two tools of critical thinking, theoretical frames and logic. Now, theoretical frames are ways that a thinker has described the world in the past. The history of every academic field is full of very smart people who have tried to describe the world, who have come up with a theory or a system that they think explains everything that you see. We can't describe every one of those in this video because that would be the entire history of thought. But when you know a few theoretical frames, they can be very useful tools. So these are everywhere. Every type of writing and every academic field has a few theoretical frames that keep coming up, that people keep talking about. You're going to see some of these, and you're going to hear some of these words and terms again and again. Here are some theoretical frames you might have heard of. Things like Marxist theory. A Marxist theory is a set of theories about how the world works that were written by Karl Marx, and other writers and thinkers have followed Karl Marx and added detail or criticized his idea in order to find a better model of how economies and class work. Anytime somebody's talking about economics and class, you're probably going to hear somebody talking about Marxist theory. Okay? So if you can recognize it, that gives you another tool that helps you to understand what someone is saying. Feminist theory. Keynesian economics is a description of how global economies work that you hear again and again in economics classes, and also politicians talking about economics. So if you know what Keynesian economics are, suddenly the things that certain politicians or commenters say will make a lot more sense. And also, if you've read some of the criticisms of Keynesian economics, you will know ways to answer those comments or the problems with the things they said, because somebody else has already criticized Keynesian economics, and you can find that criticism. Evolutionary psychology. Why do people behave the way they do? Is it because of the way humans evolved? Post-colonial studies, critical race theory, Kantian ethics, the clash of civilizations thesis. There are so many theoretical models or theoretical frames that try to describe the world. The more of these you've seen, the more of these you know a little about and can recognize. Once you've noticed which theoretical frames someone uses, you can connect their idea to a much bigger conversation. People have been discussing the things Marx wrote for more than 100 years. Some very smart people have said some very good, smart, interesting, or useful things about the way Marx describes economies. You can look up those criticisms and those comments, and that will add depth to your arguments as you reply. Be careful about trying to fit every single issue into the latest frame you learned. I remember when I took an economics introduction class and I learned the laws of supply and demand. For a little while, I tried to understand every single area of life that I saw through supply and demand logic. Not every part of life fits into the supply-demand system. And trying to do it requires me to kind of twist my mind around or to ignore important parts of an issue. Every theoretical model has strong points and weak points. Every one of them is a good fit for some topics and a poor fit for other topics. Be thoughtful and careful about which model you're using and whether that one is the best choice. But also, keep your ear open for people who are using different theoretical models. Next, logic. Very simply, logic is the question, do these ideas fit together? Do these ideas make sense? Even a small amount of logic knowledge will help you sort through all the ideas out there in the world, but also With logic, you can go really deep, and there's always another book to read, another way to study it. Learning some logic is really useful. Learning some common logical mistakes, and learning how to avoid logical mistakes, and also how to spot them in other people's speaking or writing. Those are useful tools. Remember, of course, that logic is not the only thing. It's not the only tool and not the only useful tool, but it is a very good, useful tool. Okay, there are, of course, so many places you can learn about logic, starting from a very beginner level to a very, very advanced level. There are tons of ways to learn about logic, and it is worthwhile. That was Theoretical Frames and Logic. In the next video, we'll talk about fact-checking and verification, as well as agenda setting and framing. So thank you for watching this one, and I hope to see you in the next one too.